Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Oh well. Malphas's blessings.
Brother, did you get my letter?
I did. Magistrar Yale have approved your request. Yes.
Keep walking.
Yes? News? Where have you been these... Huh? An Outlander, aren't you? Let me think. You could ask old Taiwan from Screws, Hats, Odds and Ends Incorporated.
Walk blessed.
May his light guide you.
Advance the fleet! Always forward! Always forward! Forward for the glory and...
Have you heard the news about the Magister?
Shouldn't it be somewhere else?
You know that. So,
My sir.
What do you want? To cock at me? Just... Sleep.
We're watching you, slipper. Oh.
A real pretty thing you are.
A Sunchild, I bet you
Huh?
came to watch those fools cut their guts open
Take
in
your
the dust
time.
pit. Well, that's the only reason you snobs ever come down here.
Blazes. Hello. Ridiculous.
It's called life, Nathalia. 30 per sheep, and not one penny less.
Oh, like the flesh maggots have you.
May your path always be even, my dame.
Hey, bloody wench thinks she's Vata incarnate.
Is it important?
You just wait and see.
Is it important?
What?
Well, look at that. A Sunchild graces. Oh, all things lost and found again. Depends on what you're looking for. From everywhere and nowhere. Whoever sets foot in my store was never here, and whoever buys from me has never existed. Do you hear me, Sunchild?
Please, just...
You know bed, so...
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city. A miracle has happened, a miracle that must happen.
Yeah?
Due
What
to
do you
the sheer
want?
glory brought forth by Malthus himself.
Greetings. Sure, take a look. Walk blessed.
Come to your Shamlas.
May your path always be
Only the
even.
best and friend.
War on Nerum. War on Kile.
The best
Red
looking
madness.
for everything for the path abiding soldier. Come again.
Have you heard the news about the Magister? Word has it that he murdered 30 novices, then killed himself up in the temple. By Malphas, what has become of this world?
They speak of a red madness that befalls peaceful souls, driving
They
them
just
to
sit on their
deeds
asses
and
and
endless
listen.
atrocities.
I've got just what a weary traveler needs.
All you who live now in fear, hear my words. Do not be afraid. Only the weak.
Walk blessed, my sir. How can silver a ledger? Your very own safe and thanks to our very generous interest rates. The long... well, evidently this was a metaphor. Just imagine that for... Well, you see, this is... I beg your pardon, most likely quite limited intellectual capabilities. Let us talk about more... Fine, then. We use it to trade. We invest. For example, in promising... Now, don't you look at me that way. We have to make... Banks do not make money. Now, enough of this nonsense and back to... Very well. We will need a 100-penny deposit to start with. Excellent. You will not regret this. Here, this is your person. To make a deposit, simply talk to one of the bankers or put it on the shelf yourself. And should you acquire any shareholdings, simply give them to me. Well, holdings for something, a business, a caravan, things like that. But forgive me for saying so, you do not seem to be a man of means, so I don't suppose it will be relevant to you. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. A wise decision.
Yes?
Hello. How may I be of service?
Greetings. Walk blessed.
My sir? We always go too easy on the scum.
Monsieur?
Hear my words, O path-abiding people.
Who are you? You're not from
Has
here,
happened,
are
a
you?
miracle that must
I
have
heard
been
you talk.
due to its sheer glory, brought forth by Malthus himself. Till Ardenfield has returned. Yes, you have heard right.
Bananas, hungry freshest
The
fruits,
lost
right
heir to the
Move along.
Relata Shara, sleeper.
My sir.
What? What do you want?
Oh, look at that! Oh, all things lost and found again. Depends on what you're looking for.
What are you doing here? Go ogle someone else.
Look at me. Just sleep. Please.
Is it important?
Hey! You're an adventurer, aren't you? Have you been to... Oh, how do they say it?
Oh, well met. Of course.
You're from the surface, aren't you? They say that Taylor Aranthil came back. Let's hope he knows who rules the...
Help. Please, help.
Walk blessed.
Are you ill? Can't you tell? Though it's a bit hard to heal without coin. Donations, mostly. Some of them come from relatives. Yes, say what you want about old Delora, but he's a path-abiding... My thoughts? What do you want me to say? They're pathless criminals. They don't charge us apothecary much, but the ill cannot work. And who cannot work is unable to pay the shadow tax. So, they have an interest in keeping our place running.
What? What? Now there's a treat for the eye. What do you say, darling? Want to spend some time together?
Please, just leave me be.
Eating the last penny right out your pocket.
What?
What? As you like. Safe travels.
Move along. What are you doing here? Go ogle someone else. Light fades away at the end of the day.
Huh? Can I help you?
Good evening. How about myrads? What is there to tell? They're beautiful animals, majestic and wild, and dangerous. In the time before the Blood Moon Revolt, a long time ago, tame myrads like this one here was a really rare sight. I guess that sounds stupid, but I sometimes long for the times my grandfather lived in. Nowadays, well, you can guess. Riding a myrat has become as ordinary as riding... Oh, well, that's hard to explain. They communicate by... And through those clicking sounds, I also tell them where you want to go, before you mount them. Obviously, that only works for routes that the myrat... Sure, where to? Sure. Where to?
Get away from there! Now! By the prophet's ass! 1 second late. What in blazes are you doing here anyway? Let's put it this way. I know how to hide when I get a little too close and wait a little too long, and you'll have your ass blown around your ear. The sheep. Oh my. The fellow really isn't one for names, is he? Anyhow, I hope you're not the backup I asked for. I was hoping for someone... Is that... Indeed. Very well. If Constant... But it'll have to wait. Short version or long version? Which do you prefer? Fine. I suppose you already know that that is me, my assistant, 2 Arcanists, and 4 Keepers are here to do research on... Well, on something, which... But, as I went upstairs to get something a couple hours ago, I suddenly heard screaming. I have no idea. Anyway, fact is, my esteemed Enderal colleagues, and before you ask, yes, you can help. I wouldn't have a chance fighting the mercenaries by myself, but the 2 of us might be able to do it, provided you can... Oh, that's hard to explain. But after we've cleaned up the mess, we can do this whole... No idea. But I don't think there are more than a dozen. Also, they don't anticipate any resistance. Fine, then follow me. And keep your weapons ready. I think I just heard footsteps down there. Just try. Stabbed like a pig. Wait, hang on. What's this? By the prophet's ass. I don't believe it. They're orders. My assistant, Sev. It seems he's the reason these fuckers managed. Save it for Sev when I shove the... Shit, can you smell that? That's fire. We have to do something. You're adept at magic. If I'm right, the mercenaries are trying to destroy the stone fragments, and we have to stop them. I'll take the upper part. Oh, if you should find my assistant Sev down there, try to take him alive and bring him to me. I want to take care of him myself. Okay, then let's get going.
must be crazed! Over here! Help me! for that.
Well, I'll be damned. I take it you were successful? What about all of them? Call me a pregnant Lyran. What about Sev? Did you find him? Fuck. That little... Well, whatever. What's your name, anyway? Amidst all this, we didn't have time for your plea. I actually had the feeling that... For starters, tell me how... That doesn't happen very often. I've got time. Uh-huh. So, you're saying... And these visions, if I understand correctly, it does indeed. But, and even better, now you tell me that these skills come— Shit. Not you, sorry. But no, that would be crazy. Well, I'd like to speak. However, I will tell Constantine and old Aranthiel about my theory. Then we'll be in a position to really kick ass. Anyway, hold still for a moment. Ready? Alright, let's do this. Don't worry, it'll just tickle a bit. Fuck! Are you alright? That wasn't on purpose. Really. Sorry, I have no idea what just happened. The ritual isn't exact. Maybe this has something to do with the strangeness of your— It's hard to— But hey, I'm probably— Your fever will now settle down to an Enderal. And now I suggest you return to Constantine. You need anything else? If not, see you later. We're going— Well, put simply, they're supposed to protect us. But take care.
This is holy ground, Outlander. You don't...
This is holy ground, Outlander. You do not belong here.
What?
Well, well, if it isn't the Prodigy. I've heard some rumors about your favorite school of magic. Dangerous waters you're treading in. Be careful.
Now, if it... Yes, I know. She's already told me, but I'll leave the judgment to Aranthiel. He wants to talk to you anyway. See, didn't I tell you that already? He's the highly esteemed, holy, grand master of the Order. Tilor Aranthiel. Oh yes? Well then listen carefully. Lucy probably hasn't told you, but the ritual was as... Also, she seems to see something special in you. Heck knows... He is in the Emporium... Ah yes, before I forget. My dame Lucy has left a token of gratitude for you. It's your choice. Do you want a book, an old map, or a bag of pennies? Very well, now get a move on. I'm sure we'll talk again later.
Yes, it makes sense. Walk blessed.
Who are you?
It is a suspicion, Teela. And to send an entire division across the sea because of a suspicion is madness.
We need to find out who sent the mercenaries. This Pegast said that they were after the Signet Stone, and if they succeed in getting hold of it next time, then the Black Guardian alone knows how to stop the cycle.
The cycle. Listening to you talk almost makes me forget that all this fuss here is merely based on some bad dreams you and your Neremese friends had.
The threat is real. Deny it as much as you like, but deep inside, you feel it as much as I do.
Teela, you're a commander, and a commander doesn't care about feelings, but about facts. You have made this mistake before, Tilor, back then in Kira. And we all know...
The mission will happen. I'm sorry.
You have a visitor.
So, you are... I am Tilor Aranthiel. Son... Yes. You are here because I believe that you are special. Among other things. I do not need to explain to you that the present situation on Vin is chaotic. What most people are not aware of is the connection between these. I do. And I will explain everything to you. What it means, who we are, and what your part in all of this is. Come, follow me. Maybe you already know who I am. My entire life, I served the gods who ruled Vin, until their death 2 years ago. What you probably do not know is that the one responsible for their death is my son, Narazul Aranthiel. He hated the Lightborn because he believed that they robbed mankind of their right to freedom, so he strived to overthrow them. He found followers, formed an army and declared war on them, and thus on me, a servant of the Lightborn as well. It all ended in a battle 30 years ago, which Narazul won. He killed every single survivor except for me, and locked me in a dungeon. There were circumstances favoring the development. But it's a long story with good question. Because at the moment's stability, the rulers of Kira and Kile both made the mistake to acknowledge the death of the gods to their people. Enderal is the cradle of the Order of the Gods, the epitome of theocracy. It is I am sure you understand this. Maybe when all this is over... Yes, after more than 30 years. When the death of the gods made the magic around the I always saw the same glaring, terrible light. Heard screaming, and I felt like I was burning up from the inside. And above all, like a veil, there was the knowledge of imminence. At first, of course, I dismissed these dreams as the delusion of a man close to death. So concentrated on making it through the mountains somehow. 2 days after my escape, I was completely exhausted, and I would have died. Yes, but he did not recognize me, and brought me to their house. Maybe because they thought that the death of the Lightborn had made me insignificant. I do not know. Still, even after my recovery, the dreams continued. At first, I doubted my sanity, but after some time, I told the leader of the mages, Constantine, about them. And he said something that I'd never expected. I was not alone. He, as well as many others magically gifted on Vin, dreamed the same dreams. And the more we talked about the matter, the stronger our suspicion grew, which has now turned out to be the truth. The dreams, they come from the same... Collect, I know that you can feel it too, and probably far more intense than we do. The Pyreans. 3 things. First, there were many civilizations before us and before Pyreans. Maybe hundreds, maybe thousands. Second, the history of each civilization unfolded and still unfolds according to a pattern. They emerge, they blossom. And at some point, at the apex of their existence, they simply disappear without any trace. And third, everything that has happened in the past years, and which is still happening, indicates that this disappearance lies ahead of us. We are part of an eternal loop, a cycle, and our cycle is approaching its end. Not identical, but one can split them. Yes, dramatically put, they're the envoys of the end. I see why you would say that, and I've felt the same way. For a very long time, too. But there came a moment when we simply could not deny it anymore. We began to study the history of the Pyreans more intensely, and the parallels were extraordinary. In its early days, the Pyrean Empire was split up by a disaster, just like Vin was split up by the Starfall after the reign of the Eterna. Also, the Pyreans had a ruling caste who declared themselves gods after the catastrophe. The 2 castes of the Sun Priest. They, too, ruled until they were overthrown. This overthrowing was followed by an outbreak of wars and chaos. And then, just like that, the Pyreans ceased to exist. They knew it was imminent, but they could not prevent it. They called this event the Cleansing. They tried, but they failed. Who knows why? Maybe they found out too late, or maybe they were too weak. That is the question we need to find an answer to. The end was not violent, at least not in a sense as we know it. There was no natural disaster, no magical explosion, no plague. Even though there was war in the Pyrean Empire before its ruin, when the cleansing happened, it was as if all living beings simply fell down and died. It is ghastly. Well, this is the reason why we need your help. Not only episodes of history recur within every cycle, characters do as well. Yes, the Pyreans call them the emissaries. They emerge very shortly before the cleansing occurs, like a law of nature, an answer to the Red Madness. And I am one of them, as are you. While I take on the role of the ruler, you take on the role of the prophet. It's just a description. Call it what you will. But without doubt, it is the truth. Your story matches the descriptions perfectly. Yes. Former enemies or not, both sides have understood the magnitude of the threat. The magical knowledge of Narazul's former mages is vast, as is the power of the Holy Order. Even though not all of the Keepers agree, as you probably have already noted yourself. I do not know. Firespark the Mage has told me your story, and even though your fate is tragic, unlike me, you were insignificant before your change. So maybe everyone can become an emissary, or we simply have not understood the pattern yet. No, as I already said, the emissaries simply appear at the beginning of the end, like pieces on a chessboard. We are determined by our skills. How and to what end we use them is our choice. On the one hand, your power. You carry the potential to master any skill within a fraction of the usual time needed. I assume you have already realized this. On the other hand, your ability to look into the past, and therefore into the future. Your visions are a window into the past, and as every cycle is based on the same events, it is a window into the future as well. You can feel the thread this world is woven with, and because of that, you can see things that have happened, and thus will happen again. This gift makes you indispensable to us, and it is why I want your help. That is the wrong question. The correct question is, what alternative do we have? To wait and die? Hollow words. Deep inside, you know your responsibility. Trust me, we are more alike than you believe. If it is wealth and power you seek, you will have it. The Order has enough of both. Good. However, there's one more thing before the actual work begins. I want you to join our Order, and to do so, you have to pass a test. A trial. It is. Whatever you think about our story, we are the only faction that is strong enough to oppose the cycle. If you want to be part of our mission, you need to have access to our knowledge and resources. There will be voices in the Order speaking against your admission, as they are speaking against the presence of the Naramese mages. Consider it an honor or a necessity. It is up to you. It is the trial the novices have to pass in order to be exalted to the role of a keeper. Only the best students of the Squalor are allowed admission, and even though you have not been a novice, I want you to take it too. At this very moment, 2 novices are on their way to the testing grounds. I have informed them about your arrival. I have only a slight acquaintance with them. However, I know that they are both very talented and have been working hard toward the test. But see them for yourself. I had a hunch. Let us leave it at that. At the border to the Heartland, near the Whisper Wood. They will be waiting for you there. Take the Myret, talk to Signet Master Bartar, and hand him this package. And then follow his orders. Ah, one more thing. It might be self-evident, but keep your knowledge about the death of the Lightborn to yourself. I do not believe you can do any real harm. But in the worst case, path-abiding people will consider you a heretic. After the cycle has been stopped, we will deliberate upon how we deal with the matter. If and how we tell our people about it. But not now, that is for sure. Now, leave. The sooner we can dispense with this formality, the better.
This is holy ground, Outlander. You don't belong here.
Well, well. Greetings. I'm Juslan Sharon, and as you might know already, an unusual name for a half-it. But anyway, what brings you to me? What, are you asking me to teach you? From what I've heard, you know magic as if you've studied it. Shh, don't talk so loud. You know how our holy friends... Sinistra. It's the mightiest of the three schools, but also the most dangerous one. Which... That is mostly due to the kind of eventualities it interacts with. An able entropist, on the other hand, can revive the dead as his minions. This is also why only 5 of 10 students of Sinistra manage to master it. The other 5s either stop, both of the latter rather undesirable perspectives, if you ask me. So if you plan to use... A thaumaturgist is able to alter his body and his surroundings to his... Odd, he can also boost his own bodily capabilities, and even go as far as he... elementarism. If Sinistra is a good elementarist is able to reach a very aggressive and powerful school, as you can imagine. Most arcanists favor it above others. Well observed. I'm a child of the sand, a vassal of the Golden Queen, or whichever other nickname these idiotic people around here have for us. Well, I haven't been there in over 20 years, but I'll do my... Shot. Chosen by Saldring to lead the country of the sand. At least according to the Gospel of the Lightborn. Someone asks about you, darling. Isn't that charming? But I'm afraid I can't satisfy your curiosity. At least not today. Let's just say that there are more things between life and death than what meets the eye.
Yes? Is it important?
Yes.
It's a big difference.
What?
Huh?
What? Yes. Yes, that just might work.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
This just doesn't make any sense. Why can't it ever be easy?
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
This just doesn't make any sense.
Now, if it isn't the prodigy, well...
Walk blessed.
This is holy ground, Outlander. You do not belong here.
Keep walking.
Oh, hello. You're the companion of that mercenary, aren't you?
Aside from the obvious, the most important thing to know is that it's extremely hard. Walk blessed.
Disrespectful, but
Aside from the most important, walk blessed. That's what I'm here for. Take a look. Walk blessed. That's what I'm here for. Take a look. Walk blessed.
Do you now? Well, if the keepers let you run around in here, I suppose you have business with the Order. So I guess there's no harm in trading with you. But don't think it will cost you any less than somewhere else. Walk blessed.
keep walking.
Well, then you've come to the right place. Walk blessed.
Transcribe verse 80 100 times. Sky can rain fire. Magisters never change.
My sir. Oh, look at that! Oh, from everywhere and no. Oh, all things lost and found again. Depends on what you're looking for.
Isn't this nice? A sun-child graces us with its presence. Conduct yourself, will you? This isn't the upper city.
Move along.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well met. A curious one, aren't you? I hate to... A curious one, aren't you? Of course. Of course.
A real pretty thing you are.
It just doesn't work, Master, no matter how hard I try.
Yes, and there you have the...
Hey, wait a... Never mind. Oh, you're an Eterna, aren't you? I mean, no offense, really. I'm just, well, curious. On Narum? But that must have been horrible. I heard that Eterna don't have any rights in Narum and are treated... You know, once this chaos in the world is over, I want to go travel myself. Who knows? Maybe a captain will hire me as a deckhand. Anyway, thanks for your time. Walk blessed.
What? So many strange...
Oh my, now I've seen this face, so yes, hooray! My wares it is you want to see. I promise you, they'll bring you glee.
Who are you?
I'm gonna be an adventurer, and I'm gonna explore.
As the knights, they were always here.
Have you heard the news?
Sir?
Oh, how nice of you to ask. Definitely more comfortable than What? A traveling mage. You know, I grew up in a village near Duneville. Actually, I just felt the need to, I don't know, get out. I decided not to return to... Kind of bold, yes. But back then... hard. The Arcanist made it clear that we stood... It was not a pleasant time, I can tell you. But no offense, that's a very personal... As I said, I don't want to talk about it. Sorry. Well, they weren't exactly hostile to me. But you know, I don't think I can blame them. Especially... And all of a sudden, here I am. How is that supposed to fit into their worldview? They can't... Well, that's one of the upsides of being an Arcanist. You don't need to be a bulk of muscle to defend yourself. I probably made it sound worse than it was. I've heard that on Niram, magically gifted... Sure, take a look. Walk blessed.
My sir.
Hello? Of course. Of course. Of course.